Hello, Lama from BarcodeV here, and welcome to the fourth part of our Steam multiplayer tutorial series. In this part, we will be creating the pause menu so you can actually invite your friends into the lobby. In addition to that, we're going to tweak some minor things so we can complete the lobby system. And by the way, if you want to save some time and get right into making the actual game you're planning to do and not waste time with multiplayer setup, you can get this whole template on our Patreon. So let's get right into it. The first thing we will do is to create the pause menu, and for that I'm just gonna duplicate the main menu and call it pause menu and change some things. Open it up real quick, and first of all we're gonna make the background transparent like that, or we can just delete the image, and we're gonna add a blurry background. Just put it into here, put it above that, and now we can go to the anchors, hit Ctrl Shift like always and stretch it. Now we're going to add the blur strength. Let's go for about 10, I guess. Perfect. And now we're going to change the buttons. The play buttons will be the continue button now. The settings button will be the settings button still. We're going to duplicate this button and call it invite. And we're going to rename the variables as well. This is the continue button. This one is invite. And that's that. We're going to change the play menu for just the friend list. We can search it up here. We have created it in the last episode. Put it into the widget switcher. It still has to be at index 1. Put it in here, but index like that. You can center it while we're at it. And we're going to change the variable we have exposed to invite list, because if we're in-game, we probably want to invite people. And once that is done, we can save, and now we will have to create some functionality we will need for the pause menu. We can close that while we're doing that. And then we are going to head into the core folder, open our game instance, because right here we will first of all create a custom event for back to menu, or let's call it back to main menu. And in that we're going to destroy the session, get player controller, plug it into here, and once the session is destroyed, we can open level by name, and we're going to open our main menu level. Let me check what it's called real quick. We called it level_main menu. Just copy the name, go into the game instance, put it into here, and now we don't have to add the options like we had here, because we're just opening the level as a solo player. And that's that. And while we're in the game instance, we're going to do some other things as well we will need in the game. We are going to catch some errors which may happen if you're in an online session. For example, if it shuts down, we're going to destroy the session and load the main menu. So we can just copy that, and we can copy that. Could have just copied everything, but that's that. And we are going to catch the network error. And now we can just copy paste these things, plug that into here. Nice. And also we're going to catch a travel error. If something with the level load fails, we will be just thrown into the main menu again. And that's that. Perfect. And now we're going to create the logic to actually open up the menu in the play mode. So we're going to head into the third person player controller, or into the player controller you might have created on your own. And we're going to get a key. Just type in key, get any key, and you can change it up here. I'm going to use P, because if you hit escape in the editor, you're just going to close the whole game, and that's not the point of this. And now we can start to make the widget. We're also going to create an event to close the widget, which we can call. And we're going to create widget, call it WG here, pause menu, the menu we have just created. And owning player is just self because we are in the player controller, so we don't have to get it. And we're going to promote that to a variable, call it active widget, like that. And as always, add to your viewport, like so. And now we can get it over here and convert that to a validated get. And if it's not valid, so if we don't have a widget at the moment, we are going to create one. And then this logic will happen. And now we can get it here again, convert to validated get, because the close function will always go into this one. And if that's valid, that will go over here as well. And if it's valid, we are going to take it again and remove from parent, which will basically close and delete it. And we are also going to set the active widget to none then, because if we don't do that, it's always going to be valid and the logic over here won't work. And what we're also going to do is set the input mode to game only after we have closed it. And also set show mouse cursor. We don't even have to get the player controller for that, because as said, we are currently in the player controller. And we will have to get it for, we'll have to get self for the input mode and plug it into the player controller. And that's the logic to close it. And when we are opening it, we want to set the input mode to game and UI. Like so, we can plug the widget to focus into our active widget, and the player controller will be self again. And also set mouse cursor, set show mouse cursor to true, because we need to see it once we have opened that. And that's that. That's all the logic you need to open and close the pause menu. And now we can head straight back to our pause menu. Open that up. And let me check the variable names again. Let's continue. So we can now get the continue button, set active widget 0. Yeah, we could do that, but we're going to get the invite button as well and plug it into here. We can disconnect that because it's unnecessary. So the invite button will open the invite list now, and the continue button, for that we want to get player controller and cast to BP third person player controller, so we can now call our close widget function once the continue button is pressed. And for the quit button, we now don't want to quit the whole application. We now want to get our game instance. We want to cast to GI core, like so, and call the back to main menu function. So we can now go ahead and test that. We can't test that in the normal viewport because we will need Steam for the friend list. So let's open it in the standalone game mode. Once that's open, we can create a game. Now see that if we hit P, the pause menu will open. If we hit P again, it will close. And if we press continue, it will also close. And the invite list is now working. And because we're in a session, we can now just hit invite. And if I hit open the Steam menu now and go to Little Durs, the guy I just invited, you can see you invited Little Durs to play to Space War times to annoy him. And everything's working how it's supposed to be. And that's that. Nice. So we can now implement that Little Durs, when he accepts the invite, he will actually join your game. And for that, you will have to go into the game instance one more time. Go into the event graph. And down here, you will create or search for the event on session invite accepted. And we will get our player controller. Like so. And then we will drag out the session to join and hit join session. and connect the player controller. That makes sure once someone is clicking on the invite, he's accepting it, that invite will fire, that event will fire, and then we just have to join the session. And that's that. And so you can now actually package and build your project and send it to your friends. You will have to apply some settings in your project settings. So for that, go to Edit Project Settings, and we will go to Packaging over here, scroll down a little bit, and you have the array here, list of maps to include in a package build, and we've got 3, I think. Let me just open the levels folder. We've got 2. We will have to put these names into the array, so just copy that, level main menu, and copy that, level lobby, and if you, for example, still have a level gameplay, you can just put that into here, but we don't have that right now. So just these 2 entries. Another option would be cook everything in the project directory, but that will be to a very large build file if you have content which does not have to be built, so I like to use this array over here. So now we're going to head over to maps and modes, because you're going to change the game default map to your main menu level, and you can also change your editor startup map to the main menu level, so you always start in the main menu when you start the editor, and that's for so now when you package and build the game and start it, that you're actually start in the main menu, not in the level which was here before. And now you have a project which you can package, build, and send to your friends. And after you've created the game, invited someone, and when the person accepts the invite, he will actually join into the game and everything works. And yes, that's the multiplayer part of this tutorial series. You now got everything for the lobby system and the joining system, etc. The next 3 episodes will be about the settings menu, the control settings, audio settings, and video settings. But as said, for the multiplayer part, that's it. You can now package, build, and send it to your friends. I hope everything works for you. If not, don't hesitate to ask in the comments or join our Discord and ask me directly. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I would appreciate a subscription or a like a lot, and see you in the next one. Bye.